Only two. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, we got a couple.
Just wanted to ask you your best advice for the beginners on the road.
Oh man, this is so tough. You have to think big picture. It's so hard because you want to be good immediately, but really it's a long learning curve. But if you really put the time in and you just keep working on it, you will get there, okay?
So would Liszt be the prog rocker of classical music with how show-offy and over-the-top it gets?
Well, actually, Liszt is such a show-off that piano recitals didn't actually have the piano sideways like this where you were able to see the fingers, but he was such a show-off that he ended up being the one that turned it to where the piano faced this way. Before it was more like I would be facing you like this and you wouldn't even see my hands at all. But Liszt was like, no, I want people to see my fingers go. So he ended up moving the piano like this, so that means he could really show off. And it turns out that, or at least there's rumors and stories that the women used to faint during the recital when he was playing. So he was really something else. Any other questions? Please raise your hand.
Just so that the students will hear the beginner piano players, even people who are playing, how do you get past the mistake? Because we always make mistakes. So how do you get past that to go on and cover it up so well?
Wonderful question. So if nobody was able to hear that, the question was, how do you get past making mistakes, especially as a beginner? It's really hard because in practice sessions, one of the tendencies that we have is once we make a mistake, let's go back and start from the beginning and do it over. In a performance, we do not have that luxury. So you have to really be engaging the brain and knowing what's coming next. It's almost like going on a trip in a car, right? You know where your next turn is, and the second you finish that turn, you want to know where we're going next immediately. In music, we kind of want to have the same idea, especially when we're memorized. We want to be able, if something goes wrong, we have a spot to jump to, like a save point that we can just immediately go to instead of starting over. Because the second you start over, everybody knows that you made some sort of boo-boo. Ooh, wonderful. We'll take care of this one first.
If you were to give advice and suggestion for a young beginning piano player, what composers would you say to listen to?
So like listening exercises or just like things to listen for. Really, what I end up, the way that I would approach this is whatever they're drawn to. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't find my passion in classical music originally. I found my passion in music through rock and roll. So I ended up wanting to learn those songs, and then after that, somehow classical music kind of moved its way in. So I would first say, listen to music that really makes you happy, and then kind of approach it, learn those songs first, and then we can kind of dive a little bit more into classical music. Just so that means they have an interest there that sparks right off the bat, instead of them going through years and years of just playing music that they're not really feeling. Wonderful.
And my second part is just a comment. I was a classical trained ballet dancer, and this was always being played in the classroom, and thanks to what you said before, now I understand why, and I would demonstrate to you. I just want to thank you, because you totally brought me back, and so moved by your life.
Oh, thank you so much.
Did you want to?
So Tristan was curious about the hand crossing, right? I wanted to know, like, is that something that just kind of that needs to be done during certain pieces, or just showing up like oh, whatever?
Well, this was a show off. So, no, actually, I can't believe I'm saying this. In middle school, one of my favorite things to do was just a regular C major chord, and then see how fast I can play it just cross my hands. So it looks really, really fancy, but it's really not all that challenging. What makes this particular piece a little bit more challenging is the fact that we have to fit the melody somewhere within all of these hand crossings. So yeah, there's a lot of pieces that will have moments of hand crossings for sure. They'll hit like a certain point where it's like, man, another piece with hand crossings. But they're really fun and they sound really cool. Other questions? Just wait for the microphone, please. Yeah, just talk. No. The question was, would I ever create any of my own music? I've never had that. I've never like woken up in the middle of the night and then just been like, man, this is the song I'm gonna write. I tried a little bit in high school, definitely nothing successful. But for me, my passion is more in taking a piece and making it come alive. You know, it's just notes written on a piece of paper. But if you just play the notes, there's nothing there. You have to really engage it. It has to really come from the soul. You have to make it come alive. It's not just playing all the correct notes. So to me, it's almost thinking of how can I play this different? It's really the interpretation that I have really grown attached to instead of writing. But who knows? Maybe down the line, it will come. Any other questions? Well, I just want to say thank you so much. What I always like to say whenever I perform is, you are what makes this special. I go through this list of songs every single day, practicing it, and it's never it wouldn't be a performance if you guys were not here to join me and make it special. So thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoy